pain game, because that was a painful watch, mate.
Watched it, and I felt, while watching it, I felt disgusted.
Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul is exactly what's wrong with boxing. From streaming issues to unnecessary theatrics and a fight that failed to deliver big time, Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson was an absolute horror for fight fans, and I'm glad it's over.
Because that was a shit show. Not only the fight, but the buffering, the constant kicking you out back to the homepage. It did not run smoothly, to say.
Leading up to their November 15 boxing clash, Jake Paul hyped it up as the most monumental showdown in boxing history.
It may never happen. This may be the biggest fight of my career. Him versus me is his biggest fight, and it may be my biggest fight ever.
But after 8 rounds of action, the reality fell far short of those claims. Let's just say it didn't live up to the billing.
Well, there were elements of feeling morally ambiguous about. I didn't like him taking the 78 punches that he took during the fight.
The event was a complete mess from start to finish and was full of issues that left fans feeling more aggravated than thrilled. Jake Paul's ring walk seemed to drag on endlessly, moving at a painfully slow pace.
He's turning into a boxer.
Yep. Oh, good shot by Mike.
Again, the left hook.
Good shot by Mike.
When it finally seemed like the fight might get underway, buffering problems, thanks to Netflix, snuffed out any hint of anticipation. Even the announcer's introduction for Mike Tyson felt overblown.
Welcome home, Iron Mike Tyson!
Stretching out the build-up by rattling off title after title in a never-ending attempt to drum up drama. Tyson himself seemed ready to throw down, but the drawn-out introductions robbed any sense of urgency.
That's right.
Mike Tyson always taking all the shots, though.
10 seconds, Warriors.
And that probably had some impact on his performance. The event felt like one you desperately try to watch, only for the stream to sputter and freeze every other moment. It was hard to decide what hurt more, suffering through the choppy video feed or the underwhelming fight itself.
Pain game, because that was a painful watch, mate. It's just so wrong, isn't it?
Inside the ring, Jake Paul, who usually brings a sting with his punches, seemed to lack that familiar bite. Perhaps it was out of deep respect for the iconic Tyson.
I think Jake didn't want to knock him out.
I didn't want to hurt someone that didn't need to be hurt.
But maybe, just maybe, the ghost of Tyson's legendary power still haunted the ring, and it was enough to make Paul bide his time.
On box is absolutely fucking useless, which we saw last night with Mike Tyson. So I don't know what the interest would be.
As the fight dragged on, the interruptions did too. Even during key moments, like the highly charged up introductions, the stream chose to freeze. Each pause made the experience feel more like a trial of patience than a spectacle of combat. The bout had 2-minute rounds with 1-minute breaks, punctuated by pay-per-view ads, which made the whole experience feel like a ploy to frustrate viewers.
9-73, declaring your winner by unanimous decision, Jake El Gallo Paul!
The fight itself offered little to rave about. Paul appeared to be holding back, maybe even helping Mike Tyson get through some rounds without too much trouble. He landed some clean strikes, but never seemed eager to unleash anything that would potentially end the fight.
For you, it was going to come down to stamina and conditioning. Jake Paul won round 2, and he scared the shit out of Jake.
Tyson showed he still had that iron chin and unbreakable spirit. He ate some solid punches, and glimpses of his signature head movement and defensive craft appeared here and there. But at 58, the explosiveness and sharp reactions of his prime had faded.
You know, his age was showing a little bit, and I just have so much respect for him. And that, like, violence, war thing. But
Paul's punches seemed more about playing it safe than seeking any knockout glory, relying heavily on stiff jabs and wide and looping rights. Occasionally, he'd mix in a decent hook or uppercut, but they were far from the game-changing blows that we thought he'd bring to the table.
Beautiful cross.
Tyson, meanwhile, attempted to set up those classic traps, hoping to catch Paul with a left hook counter. Yet his footwork had slowed significantly, and his punches, even when well-timed, struggled to close the gap.
Let's go like that, bro. 58 is 58. So you can see Mike's brain. Mike's brain was telling him to do stuff. His body was like, we ain't doing it, bro.
The generational gap between them was glaring as Tyson, who is now 58, couldn't summon his former firepower, meaning that Paul easily sidestepped and escaped any potential danger.
Much like I expected, McBride, and it was just a sad affair to have to watch that, man. I really didn't like it.
The fight unfolded much as you'd expect between a youthful, active fighter and a legend well past his prime. Even when Tyson displayed remnants of his defensive wizardry, the agility and explosiveness of his heyday were gone.
Down the side of his face, a home run. A home run thrown by Tyson.
At times, he looked almost stationary, yet his instincts still managed to help him slip a few of Paul's punches. Despite his legs clearly lacking their former bounce, Tyson's defensive brilliance shone through, with a guard and head movement that kept him from being an easy target. The boxing icon absorbed a few of Jake Paul's heavier shots without folding, even if he did appear unsteady at moments. Tyson's endurance was probably the takeaway from this fight, as he managed to make it to the final bell, whether or not Jake was holding back.
Tyson lanzando y aterrizando ligeramente lo más efectivo, con algunas combinaciones efectivas sobre todo el cuerpo. 10-9 Tyson.
But it's worth remembering they fought with 14-ounce gloves, which are more protective than fight night gear, adding to the match's sparring session vibe. The shortened rounds only amplified the sense of a glorified exhibition. In truth, the bout delivered exactly what we expected. It was more about entertainment than genuine competition, and it lacked any standout moments from Jake.
Mike, you're basically 60 years old, and he's like down the thing. He had a hard time walking up the stairs. He had a knee brace on, and Jake Paul couldn't do anything to him.
Being significantly younger, he should have been able to put Tyson away if he wanted to prove himself, but he couldn't, despite the fact that Tyson was coming off a health scare that almost cost him his life.
Did that happen to them? And the only one they said happened is Steffi Graf, that she noticed everything, everybody, she sees everything. Be 20,000, 40,000 people, she sees everything.
Here is what Tyson had to say after the fight. This is one of those situations when you lost but still won. I'm grateful for last night. No regrets to get in ring one last time. I almost died in June. Had 8 blood transfusions, lost half my blood and 25 pounds in hospital, and had to fight to get healthy to fight, so I won. To have my children see me stand toe-to-toe and finish 8 rounds with a talented fighter half my age in front of a packed Dallas Cowboy Stadium is an experience that no man has the right to ask for. Thank you. If Mike's claims hold any weight, he never should have been in the ring against a much younger, more capable opponent. Pitting a legend well past his prime against a younger, more dangerous fighter is a recipe for serious harm, especially when the risk of lasting damage is so high.
As a sports medicine doctor, this fight was one of the most shameful things I've seen on TV.
A fight like this could have led to a catastrophe, making you wonder where the line should be drawn to protect older athletes from potential life-altering injuries. Many in the boxing circles had been campaigning against this fight, and they were proved right when it didn't deliver the fireworks it had promised. Tony Bellew, for instance, said, "We are all to blame for this man. We are all talking and watching. We have to stop this fool, aka Jake Paul. Don't tune into him until he fights someone who is fit, healthy, and not a grandfather. Any proper boxing people helping Paul need to look at themselves. This is just sad." Stephen A. Smith said, "Love Mike Tyson. Always have and always will. But 58 is 58. Plus the legs just wasn't there. Old is old. Thank God he didn't get knocked out. Now it's time for Jake Paul to get in the ring with a top 10 fighter. Or hell, a champion. No more b-ball players, strikers from MMA, or old." Muhammad Ali's grandson Nico said, "Jake Paul is an embarrassment to this sport. If my grandfather was still around, he'd call him out. Absolutely no shame. Love you, Mike." Dave Portnoy said, "Credit to Jake Paul and Mike Tyson for pulling off one of the great cons of century. I should have put 10 million on Jake, Not because he's good, but because he fought a senior citizen. I would say everybody involved should be ashamed, but I'd take the money at too if I could. Terence Crawford went as far as saying that Tyson looked like trash. I love Mike Tyson, but they're giving him too much credit. He looked like trash. To train that long and only throw 97 punches, the whole fight is crazy. I'm just glad he didn't get hurt out there. Tyson versus Paul was a letdown, and here's hoping it's the last time Jake Paul picks an opponent solely for the sake of a winnable fight. If Paul truly wants to earn respect, he needs to step into the ring with fighters who match his size, age, and caliber.
There's not a prayer that Jake Paul can be fighting still, even though he's been retired for a bit. And yeah, it's not happening.
Otherwise, he'll just keep racking up hollow victories against aging legends, leaving him with a record that holds no real value. The truth is, if he's not willing to face legitimate competition, he'll have nothing to boast about. And his future generations might not be too proud of that padded legacy.
2 to go. Sean Porter's got it all square. What about you?
I've got Tommy Fury just ahead.
Let's hope Jake Paul faces a true challenge next, because his skills are solid, but beating aging legends isn't the path to legitimacy. When it comes to Tyson, it's clear he's better off staying out of the ring. At 58, with a list of health issues that could flare up at any moment, there's no reason for him to risk his well-being. He's earned everything: money, fame, and a legacy that's cemented in boxing history. Tyson is a legend, and he deserves to enjoy his life and not waste his time stepping into the ring with YouTube boxers. Anyway, what do you guys think about Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul? Share your thoughts in the comments. And if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you in the next one.